welcome to our first podcast for MemeSolulu. I'm Anjali and I'm the host for our podcast today. And our topic for today is meme marketing. And we have with us a very special guest, Miss Amrita Bansal. She is a professor at NMIMS Mumbai, and she teaches marketing in a school of business management. And her research areas include brands, storytelling, women consumers, and qualitative research methods. She has published several papers in international journals and has presented her work in marketing conferences as well. She is an alumni of MICA and ICFI Hyderabad, and she is currently doing a research paper on meme culture. So, ma'am, you use a lot of memes even in the classes itself. So, do you think that this might actually make it less serious for the students, or do you think, obviously you expect that it is better for the students to retain it, but do you think people take you less seriously because of that?
So why I started using memes was because, especially during the COVID, because at that time, it was on Zoom, so the attention span for the people was really, really less. So putting out a meme was something like a break in the lecture at that time, because then I would actually understand that how many of them are actually paying attention, because the moment I used to put meme on the PPT and the slide used to come, then few people would laugh and maybe there would be some reaction. So that helped me to make them more attentive in the class actually. So that was like a break in the seriousness of the lecture. Absolutely correct. Slowly and steadily, I started understanding that a meme there is a way of delivering certain kind of information, which might be taken non-seriously, but it also helps to ignite some, curiosity around it. So now memes are a very important, have become an important part of my lecture delivery. Okay, where I put memes at the title of the presentation or something like that, which just grabs the attention of the students immediately. Another thing is that as a faculty, it's not just about the seriousness of the content. It's also about that you have 60 plus students sitting in front of you, if you treat them as an audience sitting in front of you, who already have laptops, phones and all of these things in their hands. Okay, they're already distracted. Okay, it's my job, it becomes my job so that I grab my attention with my content. So content delivery becomes very important at that time. So yes, even if they laugh it out or the reaction is something that is not very serious, that's totally fine with me as long as it is getting communicated. So yeah.
Right, that makes sense. So a lot of brands also think the same way. They use memes as a way of grabbing eyeballs more than actually converting into a sale per se. So I think Zomato does meme marketing a lot and Duolingo does that.
Yeah.
So I think what would you say is your favorite brand or the best way a brand that uses meme marketing?
So the term meme marketing is used right now a lot. Okay, so that was, but I would say that initially in a very, not exactly the definition of meme marketing, but Amul started doing that.
Right.
Okay, so at that time when memes was not a normal conversation or an event that people discuss constantly, or it was in not our regular vocabulary. So they did this. So it was something very different at that time, and they still do it. And now it has become that earlier it used to grab attention from people. Now it is something that whenever something happens, any moment is created, people wait for them to create and react something out of it. So that is something that, that is like the ideal situation to be in, brand wise, I really like how Durex do meme marketing. They're always on point. It's the combination of meme and moment marketing together that they do. Okay, so they also do pretty well. Zomato, as you have said, that they are also the ones who use it very well. A lot of OTT platforms, they as brands, they do it really well. So it has become a very common culture among people, and that I would also say is because of the shareability part of it, that makes it more convenient for people to go through the meme marketing route. But I also like it that if you go right really into the past of it, in media, especially in the written media, that was like newspapers and magazines, a lot of political satire, memes and all, they were already part of the culture. The thing is that I would say we never used to call them memes. So that has changed. It was already there, okay, but we started identifying it way later. So yeah.
But would you call what we see in the newspaper as a meme? Because I always thought meme would be something that you can always share. So the virality part of it. So would you still call a cartoon in a newspaper a meme?
Yes, so meme has to have, so if you get into the definition of meme, it comes from biology, right? So meme is something, is a phenomena that helps you to transfer the information. So memes are related to our genes. So genes, the function of the genes is to transfer the information from previous generation to the next one. Okay, so memes actually do that. So yes, you actually said correct, that the shareability part of it. So the shareability part of it, that's what you are talking about, is on the premise of that as an audience I can share it with you. All right. So that is what shareability that we are talking about. However, within the news as well, the information was still distributed, okay, and shared with the audience. Within the audience, the shareability was not there. However, in a very now you can actually go and see that who shared what, right, to how many people. However, at that time it was not in that manner, but it was still part of our conversations. It was still, people would talk about it in their when they're meeting friends, in their drawing rooms, when they are having discussions, okay. So that was still happening, but not in a formal way, okay. So but now, because we have the medium in our hand, because the media has also changed, right? So that's why the definition of the shareability has changed. Earlier, the shareability definition was not something like that, because the media didn't have that capability. Now the media has the capability, so that's why.
So shareability is what makes memes like great for marketing, but there's also like the other side of the coin, that if something goes wrong, it goes disastrous. So what could brands do so that these kind of consequences they do not face? So
Yes, so it's not just about the meme, but any kind of content that you put out there as brand, because nowadays you don't have 100% control on the narrative, because the medium and the media is such, okay, your audience is also as equal participant as what you are doing, okay. They will react, they will will have opinion, and they will actually, if it is extreme cases, they can take actions also, all right. Couple of things that you can do is, like, first of all, like, don't be a tone deaf brand. Okay.
of course.
Understand what is going around in the, not just with related to your brand, but in general in society. Okay, so if you don't have an understanding of that, then things can go wrong. Okay, the Zomato and the Kachra ad, it was exactly a tone deaf ad to come up with, because you don't understand, you're not understanding the connotations of it. We are not saying that as a brand you were promoting something bad, you were trying to promote something bad, but what you are not seeing, that there are a lot of underlying subtle meanings, and it's very much culture rooted thing that they were trying to project over here, or the character that they were using was trying to project. So it's actually very tone deaf kind of a situation, so don't do that. So how not to do that? So it always, like, you can test market it, you can just have a few people, and you just which are not part of your team, a marketing team, but regular people, and just float it out and see what are their reactions, at least on their spaces. Second thing is always remember when you're doing this that how does it affect to your TG? Okay, because a lot of times you can get backlashes from a non-TG group, but not from your TG at all. Okay, so that also you need to understand that if something that you're doing and your TG has an issue with it, okay, it means that that is something that is not acceptable. But that if you're doing something which is fine with your TG but not with other publics, then you can take a call as a brand that whether it's a good or a bad thing for you. All right. So that is another thing. Memes already are a bit indirect, right? If you make it very complex, like you add on couple of more layers to it, okay, only thing that is that the reach of that meme would be a bit lesser, because maybe most of the people would not understand it. Now when I say they will not understand it, doesn't mean that they are not intelligent, but what you are expecting as a brand, that my consumer is going to sit for a few minutes and think about it and discover the hidden meaning behind it. Everyone doesn't have that amount of time. Okay, so the amount of time that per person is giving to you is very less that way. So the immediate, if it hits you, hooks you up in just some time, that's fine. But if it is going to take a longer time, then there is some issue. Now that also depends totally on, like, what is your objective? Are you trying to target people who would give more time, engage more? If that is the purpose, that's totally fine. But what I have understood, that the more simpler and direct the meme is content wise, the more it is shared further. Okay, and also, like, if you come up with something new, okay, a new template or something like that, that works, which connects. So relatability is the highest I would give to that it has to be relatable to your TG, to whom you are giving. Okay, if that is there, then it works. If they don't relate with it, it doesn't work. That's as simple as that with memes. So yeah.
So as someone deeply immersed in like qualitative research, so how do you analyze a meme? So what is the process for analyzing a meme, and how do you go about this?
Okay, so analyzing the meme. So meme is something like analyzing a certain piece of content in front of you. Okay, so there are a couple of aspects of a meme. First is what is the context that you're setting it in. Okay, so for example, because memes are very context based and cultural based. Okay, the meme that would work in India might not work in the US, because for example, in India people use a lot of hera fairy reference memes for promoting a lot of things, but that meme will not work in the US because people have not watched the movie. Even if and even in India, might be everyone who's enjoying that meme might not have watched the movie, but they understand the connotation because of the cultural aspect, the language, and all these kind of things. So so the first thing, so the context that you are using, the template that you are using, that becomes very important. That is this template good to be relatable with my TG. The second thing is that what moment you are choosing to add to it. So now it can be some moment like the moon landing for Indian context. Okay, so that was used by all the brands. Okay, so when it happened on that day, so that the context was this, the scenario as that time was such, the sentiment was there. Okay, so it would work for you. Okay, and from a brand perspective, if I would see that how the brand integrates with the meme. Okay, so now for example, if I am a Swiggy, okay, and I'm a food delivering app, and you taking the news and the context of moon landing from India itself, okay, and I want to congratulate ISRO, okay, and they would say something like congratulations, and the sweets are on its way. Okay, so now this makes sense, right? Okay, because it is using the contest, the moment. Okay, you're making a meme out of it, but you're integrating the brand itself. If you're not doing it, if it's just a congratulatory thing or something like that, then it might work on the level that you also congratulated it, but it will not do anything for your brand. Okay, so these are the three major things that you would see. That first is the template that you're using. That should be something that people understand that template. If people don't understand that template, you will not. So I don't know if you people have seen, there's this card game that has come, which is of memes. Okay, so there are a deck of questions, and then you can distribute the meme cards to everyone, right? Okay, now if you see, that's an American version of it. A lot of memes that are there, as an Indian, I don't get the joke, first of all, or it's not that funny for me. Okay, so that doesn't work in India. So that's why templates are very important, that it should trigger that particular thing. Second is the context. Okay, that needs to be contextual, in the sense that people are still attached to that context. Okay, so it's not something that it happened like 1 or 2 weeks before and after 1 or 2 weeks, because that has changed quickly. And the third one is that from the brand perspective, how well you are integrating your brand with it. So yeah, so these are the three things.
So when you were speaking about culture, one of the few exceptions that I could think of was Pooja, what is this behavior? So that was popular even in the US. I've seen people use that meme in other places as well. So what made this particular meme like cross-cultural, do you think?
One is the language. Okay, English. So if it's an English language, it's easy. All right. The second thing is, like, it's a part of Big Boss. So Big Boss kind of thing is there in their world as well. The third thing is that what kind of celebrities in India were using that template and where they were putting it out. Okay, so big stars, big movie stars were also putting it out, like, mimicking it and putting it out. And then, because their audience is not just restricted to India, their audience is also worldwide, so it catches on like that. Okay, so the biggest one thing is the language, I would say. If it would have in Hindi, it wouldn't have worked.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We would be continuing on the same topic in the next episode as well, so please do watch that.